The latest across-the-board rankings for Aggie baseball after the sweep of the Longhorns, the beatdown of the Coach Schloss-led Longhorns. 10, 9, 7, 10, 14, and 8. A&M baseball put out one of those infographics. They don't include the Athletic, but I do. Mitch Light, he's with me every Monday. He's the editor, and he runs their college baseball. He is their college baseball, guy. Athletic has him at 8. D1 Baseball said 10. Baseball America said 9. USA Today said 7. The National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association of America said 10. Perfect Game said 14. Athletic said 8. That's A&M's new rankings. And the RPI, I didn't check this morning, but I don't think anybody played Monday, so it shouldn't have changed. RPI is 12, and that's probably the most important number of them all. Aggie baseball back in action tonight, taking on the University of Houston. The Cougars, 6 o'clock first pitch. You'll hear that game right here on the Zone, 11:50 a.m. and 93.7 FM. Of course, you can listen on the Zone app. You can listen at radioaggieland.com. You can also tell Alexa, play Zone 1150.com. The promotion for tonight is the Junior Aggie Club members can claim a free ticket to the game and purchase additional tickets at a discounted price. Junior Aggie Club members can claim a free ticket to the game. Makes me sad to see the Cougs are down. One of the things, and this is just me being a baseball fan, is how baseball in the state of Texas is always so bleeping good. You got A&M in Texas, and you look up and you got TCU winning championships. Cougs are good. UTSA, Dallas Baptist. Because I asked the question, but the state of Texas, not the university, the state of Texas is the best baseball state in the country. I mean, is there an argument? Because it's got to be the usual sunshine states, right? It's either Texas, California, or Florida. There isn't another argument out there. But when you look up, and you generally have between 5 to 7 NCAA type programs. And again, it's sneaky because Rice had a little, is it an 8-year stretch under the Wayne Graham era where they're going to College World Series. They weren't just going to the NCAA tournament. Houston, I know, is in little burst and stretches. And it always made like the midweeks a little more interesting. But baseball in the state of Texas, quite excellent. I don't think that's a real revelation. But that's not quite so much for the Cougs this year. 16-18, 3-12 in Big 12 play. 3-12 in Big 12 play, currently riding a 3-game losing streak. For the Aggies, Cole Hubert gets the start. It'll be his 5th of the year. Yeah, the Aggies lost last week in the midweek, but it was their first of the year. They've been outstanding in the midweek, and this is another chance to just go be outstanding in the midweek. It's very simple. Continue the momentum. The Texas series, the highlight of the Michael Early era, highlight of this year, and you just want to use it to propel you onto great things for 2026. Nothing really more complicated than that. Many, many, many challenges ahead, starting with LSU in Baton Rouge, top 20 team. Then you have Florida, who as high as 5 and at 20. Florida is the most roller coaster team I've seen in the SEC this year. They're definitely a top 10 team that can play like a number 30 team. Sweep or be swept seems to be the Gator motto. Auburn is a top 10 team. Ole Miss, lots of talent, gets beat. And Mississippi State started the year as one of the top 2 teams in the country, 5 teams in the country. Now all of a sudden they've been swept in back-to-back weekends. So plenty of schedule left ahead. But we saw the full potential of this A&M baseball team this weekend. And what's funny is they beat Texas with what they've done all year, mash, bash. That's the whole formula. And that makes this team extremely fun to watch, without a doubt. So tonight, simple task, nothing real, no real heavy lifting. Just take care of the midweek and get ready to travel to Baton Rouge. Tough place to play. Continuing the maroon and white notebook, something simple here, Aggie football. You know how there's the way too early top 25, and that's the one they release after the national championship game. Way. Then you got way, which is what we get at the start of spring football. Guess what I got today? It was released earlier this morning. I've got just way. We're down to one way. Look, opening game, it's not soon, but we're moving towards that date. It's closer than it was in January. Man, that's an obvious statement, I know. But I got a way too early top 25. We've moved down from way, then way. We're down to way. I think it was Mark Schlabach, ESPN, matter of fact, did his updated. Yeah, we've had a portal. Most schools are half of D1's done with their spring football. So a way too early top 25 updated. He let everybody know this is updated rankings. A&M's 10. CBS says A&M is 6. A&M is a consensus top 10 team to start 2026. I like looking at these, just little reminders in case anything falls through the cracks. I love seeing 11-2 because that's always, I don't forget, but 11-2. Last year was an incredible season. The last two games just are such a wall to getting to remember how awesome last year was. Because the last two games, your rival and a college football playoff game. You could say the two biggest games of the year. Now, there were other big games. The South Carolina comeback is one of the greatest moments in Aggie football history. It's an all-timer. It's an all-timer in college football history. Shouldn't have been, but it was. 11-0 start. And the thrill of knowing you made the college football playoff and the 2 weeks leading up to that college football playoff game were electric. I mean, first time ever, but it's all kind of, again, all buried behind this wall of just how horrible the last two games were. Even embarrassing the last two games were. So when I see these kind of updated and the little details of that number 11, yeah, they won 11-0. They won 11 games. It was incredible. But I hate the fact that I feel like I have to be reminded because the impression of the last two games is kind of just brutal. Key players lost. Casey Concepcion, Trey Zune, Chase Basantis, Crownover, Howell, York, Will Lee, Albert Regis, Tyler Onyedem. And almost for a second want to sit there and go, man, how are they going to win two games? They had a lot of great players. I cannot wait to see Isaiah Horton and Tosaka. The Ricky Gibson hype has me like fired up. I want to see this dude in action. The expectation level in my universe might be just insanely too high even from what scouts have said and others have projected. And then you've got the sneaky ones. Show me Coney and Bayard, the safety from Colorado. Those are the kind of players that I think fit into the Tyler Onyedem. Because I remember when he was added and everyone was talking about nice, could fit the system, but he wasn't getting the same like Cassius Howell when they brought him in. But yet, Bayard and Coney have the chance to be these guys that you look up and absolutely destroyed the world. So, and I feel like that's the sneaky part of Elko and his staff in the portal, and that they nail the high end. But the depth of what they do in the portal is like a Tyler Onyedem. And those players they pick up. And that's why their portal classes are so deep. And maybe that's where a Bayard and even a Coney, they just gonna, I don't know. I'm excited to see because their portal success makes me excited about the players they've added. That's why I have more faith in things. Don't know about you. But yeah, number 10, back to in the way too early. A&M is 10. And again, just looking at it all, things you know, but almost refreshing you, kind of excites me. The idea of seeing Horton, Craver, and Ashton Bethel Roman where he ended last year, that might be the greatest wide receiving core. We'll see. The potential's there. Depends on what their quarterback decides to do with them. Now, the rest of the updated top 25, Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, Georgia 3, Notre Dame 4. Not one surprise in that group. If anything, you might want to go, wait, they didn't put Texas in the top 4? Holy snikes. Oregon at 2. Cool. They're the regular season champions. They seem to struggle in the postseason. I think Notre Dame is a lock for the college football playoff, maybe even 12-0. They just have that schedule and the returning players. Georgia at 3. Okay. I think Georgia's been a favorite for the past 2 years, and they seem to not be able to get it done in the postseason. Now, the rest of the top 10. Texas is 5. Yeah, I don't know how they don't win 10 games next year. If they don't, there might need to be some other discussions, but I think they're going to win 10. I think they're going to be in the college football playoff. I don't know if they're the greatest team in the history of college football next year. I don't think I'm willing to take that step, but I do think they're going to make the college football playoff. I think they acquired too much talent. I don't think their schedule is as hard as some other schools. So, yeah, I think Texas is going to the college football playoff next year. Indiana 6. Miami 7, Texas Tech 8, Ole Miss is 9, and as we said, A&M is 10. Now, rest of the top 25, updated, way too early, ESPN, and only the ones that interest me. LSU is 11, high expect. You know, when you got a $40+ million payroll, when you talk the alumni to give you 10 more mil because you convince them you can win in year one, yeah, okay, 11. Oklahoma is 13. Buy their defense, sell the offense. Alabama 16. SMU 22. U of H is 24. And Tennessee, the Volunteers, are 25. That's ESPN Mark Schlaubbach's way. Remember, we start way. That's 3. Way. That's 2. We're down to way. And then in August, we'll just get the top 25 at no ways anywhere in sight. So A&M at 10. Buy, sell, right? You down with this? Because I always go by the teams in front and behind. Like, take a look. You have a top 25 poll, and you see your team is at number X. Look at the 2 teams in front and the 2 teams behind. And when I see A&M at 10, and I looked at 8, 9, and 11, 12, and I'm like, oh, yeah, A&M is 10 easy. Because if LSU is going to be 11, A&M's 10. So A&M at 10 for me is an easy call looking at everything comparatively. They're absolutely 10. I got no problem with it at all. No matter what you might then play mechanics in your head for 10 minutes to talk them into, oh, but they're a 9-win team. Well, LSU's 11, A&M's 10. Period. End of conversation. When we return, speaking of conversation, Logan Lee, Aggie Hoops, inside the Charles Schwab studio.
The Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio. Woo! Fun is allowed and sports are fun. Weekdays 11 to 2 on The Zone.
The Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. The Louie Bellina Show, it is the Tuesday edition. One quick text message, and random, because we were talking about Aggie football way too early, top 25s, and he said, how about A&M baseball at 10 as well? And I'm like, okay. Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, it's awesome. And then he goes on to say, and let's piss off some Tech fans. How about Texas and A&M playing 14 PFI top 25 teams while Tech plays 0? They don't deserve it. So somebody just fired up with a phone in their hand.
Hey, I like when they come with the I call that passion. I like when they come with the passion.
That is Logan Lee. He joins me Tuesdays right about 11:20. Aggie Hoops, and he actually knows other sports too. I mean, Logan did play basketball at A&M and 7 other colleges. He was the NIL portal before we could spell NIL. Logan also coached at A&M and Kentucky. He's refereed the game as well. What's up, brother?
Oh, nothing much. Hanging out, enjoying life, living life. I was the transfer portal. I was not the NIL portal. I didn't get paid.
Wait a minute. They paid you in gear.
They paid me in what?
Gear.
No, I stole that.
I've joked before that Logan can open his own his own collegiate athletic gear store.
Absolutely.
He was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10 different schools in 6 years, and you have all the sweatsuits. I've got
uniforms. A bunch of. I bet I could sell that. I won't, but I might if the price is right, and I don't know. But I've got a ton of Kentucky game jerseys, like full jerseys.
But they're not even game worn.
With the shorts and the top. No, they are. They're old school. Like I have a pair of Kentucky game shorts that have they're silver and white, and they have a blue belt built in. Like that's how old they are. They're old school. So when we were up there, the equipment manager, you always make friends with the right people. And I made friends with the equipment manager, and he was like, "Hey, man, like we've had these forever. I don't know what we're going to do with them. You want a pair?" I was like, "Yes, absolutely." And then it just turned into, "Hey, we also got these." I'm like, "Hey, you got any shooting tops? I'd love some of those." "Oh, yeah, here you go." I am talking about legit game time shooting tops, jerseys, shorts, you name it.
Dead serious?
Absolutely.
You know, if you ever put that on Kentucky eBay, that stuff would sell for like millions.
You know, I maybe if I get put in a tight spot.
You never will. You own like 10 different businesses. You're a mogul.
That's why I get put in a tight spot.
You're like a mogul. Logan Lee, again, played at A&M. Plus, I'll just say plus.
Plus. Nice.
And he also coached at A&M in Kentucky and refereed the game. Logan, big news of the weekend. Portal opens up, and this has to be the highest rated transfer.
Did anything happen? What happened?
PJ Haggerty.
Who's that?
He is the nation's leading returning scorer. He was the 4th leading scorer last year. 2 of them above him went NBA, and the other one graduated. So he's the nation's leading returning scorer. PJ Haggerty. I saw him as the ranked 7th in the transfer portal by ESPN. I heard he's ranked 4 by someone else's. Mm-hmm. It don't matter. He's one of the top ranked guys in the portal, and he's the nation's leading returning scorer. And I love, it doesn't matter what sport. I like reading all the different scouting reports and stuff and services. And basically everything I've seen on him, he is the ultimate Bucky Ball player. He is a scoring guard who loves to attack the rim, which Bucky Ball needs is people attacking the rim. Like this, and his pace of play is exact. He is the ultimate Bucky Ball guard, it looks like.
I am super excited about this pickup. He's like you said, he's anywhere from the top 4 to the top 7 transfers in the country. A&M lands him. A ton of people are going after him. My hesitation when initially looking at him was how many schools in how many years?
In 5 years, right? This school, yes, 5 years.
But when you look at it, the reasons for transferring were never, oh, I just don't like it here, or I want better, or whatever it is. The reasons for transferring were all legit. TCU, you get hurt, you don't know what your future looks like in regards to recruiting and transferring, and because you've been hurt, so you leave. You go to Memphis. Memphis, you do great. You're all conference. You do everything, but
that was stock up time to move.
Absolutely, that's the thing. Memphis, I guarantee you, he would have stayed if Memphis could have paid. But I can't blame any player for doubling their salary in the next year or more. And when I say, yes, it was more than double of what he was getting at Memphis, probably a little more than double that. So I can't blame him for that. You go to Kansas State, you play there, you do great, you're one of the nation's leading scorers. Oh, but your coach leaves. You don't know what's coming in. You don't know what's going to happen. And so you leave and you end up at A&M. And all of a sudden, it looks on paper and from what we envision Bucky Ball being and what we have seen PJ Haggerty do, it is a perfect alignment. Mm-hmm. And this pickup right there is another signal to not only other players in the portal, but agents across the country and people who want to play in this style of basketball of look at the caliber of players that Bucky is going to bring in and what he is going to build here. It's the same thing as landing Pop Isaac and Mbako last season. That started the train rolling. You don't look. We've talked about this ad nauseum. You don't land those two, you don't get anybody else. You don't get Zach Clements. You don't get Rylan Griffin. You don't get Rashawn Agee. You don't get any of those players if you don't get Mbako and Pop first. This is the start.
Players that attract other players.
Yep.
Players that send the signal to everyone else. Oh, this is serious.
And
it's not Texas A&M. It's Bucky, actually.
But not only that, now that he's locked in so quickly, he has a chance to go and if Bucky says, hey, we're looking at this guy, you want to play with him? Yeah, I want to play with him. Oh, okay. I'll go reach out. Let me go do some recruiting for you. Let me go talk. Hey, come alongside me. Let's make this thing. Let's make this thing happen. Oh, and by the way, A&M's not messing around with this NIL stuff. They're going to be all right, and they're going to make you all right.
I did ponder how much he cost, and I don't say this in a negative or mean way. I just feel like that's a very modern reaction
for sure
to the college athletic world. So I do want to be clear. I'm not saying that as an accusation or something mean. I just kind of wonder, a player of his caliber, top 5, because if I take 4 and 7, what's the average? 5. Top 5 player in the portal, leading returning scorer. What is the price tag? Because the BYU player allegedly was $7 million last year. That's a year ago. We have economics inflation in life, right? So, and I don't think it's something like that. But if a year ago the top player, a one and done NBA was $7 million, the modern world. I just kind of wonder how much.
How
much
agree.
of that budget? How much of the total budget was that for Bucky?
I wonder that as well. I know there had been rumors floated out there that it could be somewhere $4 million.
Sure, I think that's the min.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I don't believe that it is at $4 million.
So you think $6 million?
I think it's lower.
$5 million?
I would assume it is lower than 4. I don't know. I have no clue. But you know what? Let's start the rumors and say it's at $5 million, and then all of a sudden, just like A&M football, when A&M was the first to drop, hey, we've got a $30 million budget or whatever it was, and at that time A&M's budget wasn't $30 million, but it caught the attention of everybody, and all of a sudden recruits were, oh wait, I want a piece of that. I want to go there. I want to do that. I mean, that maybe this is. I don't know how this all plays out in its whatever year we're in now of NIL. I don't know if that hurts or if the rumors hurt or harm the program, because if you think that the program is paying $4 to $5 million a player and then they come in and offer you $2 million, are you dissatisfied?
If $2 is the highest offer you have, though, it's not an insult. So in the end, if that $2 million is still the highest offer on your table, I don't think anybody's feelings are hurt.
I don't think the players' feelings are hurt, but the agents that deal with it are like, no, man, we heard you're doing 5 over here, and my player is just as good as that player, so he's only taking 5.
But if it's still the highest offer the agent has, isn't it business first?
I don't
know. Right?
I don't know.
You're right. Maybe
for me, if I ever found out that my agent said no to $2.5 million.
Hold on.
Hey man, you're fired. You don't get a piece of that check.
There's only one leading returning scorer in the nation. Now, if your agent also now has the leading rebounder, that's a different pay rate than the leading. There's only one leading in everything, right? So when you come to the table,
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. It just, again, the question was how much, and even when I read these things, it's speculation.
Absolutely.
Because we don't have a public database.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever shared this with you. And I think it was The Athletic that did it. If I have the source wrong, my apologies. But they did a Freedom of Information Act to the universities to get NIL. They asked them first. No
I bet
university.
they said no.
They all said no.
Yeah.
And one of them tried to say like HIPAA laws, but that's medical.
HIPAA?
Yeah. And some of the universities just told them, if we told you, we'd put ourselves at a competitive disadvantage. Because now people would know what we're paying, they could counter it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if there was a public database, agents couldn't play schools off each other. You could establish a base of money.
There are a lot of ifs, ands, buts, whatever the saying is.
You would take power away from the players if everyone knew the salaries.
Okay.
Yeah, it just fascinates me.
I'm fine with that. They're still getting paid 7 figures.
I know. This is also new. How deep are we into the NIL? Are we 5 years even?
Maybe?
It's not even that old.
I feel like it's been there forever now.
It feels, it is tiring, isn't it?
I feel like it's been there forever.
But all the rules of this game are still in progress. There is no rules still.
I think we're only, 4 years in now?
4? See?
Saban's been out for how long? 2 years? 2 seasons?
I don't know. I wish he would have disappeared. I don't like him on game day. I know everyone else loves him, but such a hypocrite.
Why?
Because he says stuff that's counter to when he was coaching. But now that nothing affects him as a coach, he says all these things to posture for the camera. He does. He bothers me so much sometimes.
I mean, when you are listening to a coach, you've got to understand who that coach is and what they're about. And you just, I don't know, in my opinion, you just take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. That guy's going to say whatever he needs to say.
Needs to say. Not what they mean, not what they believe. Needs
but
to
how
say.
how many coaches are like that though?
All.
Probably 99%.
Yeah, all.
Whatever you need to say, that's what you're going to say, whether it's recruiting, whether it's in a pregame or postgame press conference,
or hosting a show.
We'll
take a timeout. We'll come back. Louie Molina, Logan Lee inside the Charles Schwab studio. It is a Tuesday thing here on the Louie Molina Show, presented by CC Electric on the Zone.
Home, on the road, or Omaha. You can hear Aggie baseball on the Zone.
It is the Louie Molina Show. Holy cow.
I love off-air conversations. Oh, too bad we can't share them. Sorry, guys. You missed out. Inside jokes. Best radio ever.
Way too inside.
Best radio ever.
It is the Louie Molina Show. Inside the Charles Schwab studio, it is the Louie Molina Show on I've lost track of days after that.
It's a Tuesday, Lou.
Thank you. Coming up, 12 o'clock, Joe Sheehan newsletter.
Oh, man, he's good.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he's good.
The ultimate geek, nerd, stats, analytics, and speaks pure human.
He really does. Maybe that's why I like him, because I understand everything he says. And I feel like everything he said is just based on what he studies. It's not opinion-based. He just goes and, hey, this is what they did last night, and here's what they've done in the past 2 weeks. And here, by the way, I've also done a study on here's what they've been in the past 6 weeks and 8 weeks. So this is why they are going to look this way in the next 2 weeks.
But he doesn't drown you like most statistical people do.
Absolutely.
He doesn't drown you.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
He
Joe
does a great job.
12 o'clock on the D4 Land Services hotline. He's like me. We just give you the facts. What was that?
Oh, sometimes you just got to laugh it off and move on.
What's that?
Nothing. What we got? Bucky Ball.
Oh, yeah. What was the laugh for?
Because I'm excited about Bucky and what he's doing.
So
here.
I had a concern. And I was waiting for you because you can help me understand. Wait a minute, maybe so. I'm concerned with all the players that left. It doesn't matter who you bring in because you're back to a zero starting point. Because no matter how talented they are, you still have to learn Bucky Ball. You have to learn a system.
Yes and no.
Because he brought in he had to start with 14 new, and he brought in talent. But they had to go through the process of learning Bucky Ball.
And I think, you saw the growth and development that they had this season. And he only had one guy who knew what to expect. Now, let's say he has 5 guys that stay from last season.
Is he going to have that many?
Maybe. I don't know. Let's say he has 3 guys.
Okay.
Let's say he has 3 guys coming back from last season. That's 2 extra guys that already know the system. Oh, and by the way, by the looks of what he's doing, he's getting players that are more accustomed to playing this style, that fit this style better. He's having more time to pick and choose who he wants to bring in instead of, hey, let's bring in the best players available and try to make this thing work. Now he has time. And yes, there is going to be a learning curve. But if you look at every team, there's going to be a learning curve. Michigan had 5 starters that were all transfers and won. Why? Because they picked the 5 best players and they all fit the system. So if Bucky can go in and pick players that fit his system, that not, hey, let's get the best and see if they fit the system. It's let's get the guys that we want, that we already know fit the system. And he's off to a great start with Haggerty.
Oh, without a doubt. Again, it wasn't just, leading scorer. I mean, that's the headline. But again, from the scouting reports I read, this is the Bucky Ball guard.
Would you consider him a guard? Because I distinctly remember the conversation of he needs guards. And you said he needs bigs. And I said, well, he's going to get guards first. And you were like, but he doesn't need guards first. He needs the bigs.
No.
But
Whoa.
I'm sure that he got a guard.
I didn't say he didn't need guards first. I said the key is they need a big. They need an elite big.
Here's where I'm going to agree with you.
Everybody remember this day. It is a truly great day.
With them already adding Haggerty and having that scoring presence and the guard, the anchor guard, go and get a big. Holy cow. If they could go get a 6'9" to 7'1",
7'6",
7'6", like I don't even want to know how much the bigs cost because they are few and far between, and a talented one, like that's gonna be your $5 million, $6 million guy, like because everybody needs them, and there are not 32 of those type players.
Even if you had one, you'd buy another.
Well, yeah, if you could,
right?
Absolutely,
it's just insane.
And if you have one, how much are you going to spend to keep it? Like to keep a player like that, you still have to up the ante. And so, man, if A&M can land a legit big that blocks shots, that rebounds, and has a decent offensive game, my goodness, add that to the development of Jamie Vinson. The Jamie Vinson in the Alabama game. Add. Oh my gosh. Think of that, Lou. Get a point guard. You have Haggerty. Add Jamie Vinson and his development, and another big. I don't care who you land out. I don't care who else you land in the portal. Play 4 guys.
That doesn't work in Bucky Ball system.
You're right.
It needs about 9, maybe 10.
I agree with that.
Logan Lee joining us inside the Charles Schwab studio. It's a Tuesday thing here on the Louie Bellina Show, here on The Zone. Ruben gone. Did the Pop Isaacs gone catch anyone off guard? Was this something I missed?
I don't know. You and I talked throughout the season of sometimes he just didn't look happy. Sometimes he just didn't look like he was into it. You knew very early on in a game, does he have it or not? And if he didn't have it, man, it was a struggle. If he did have it, he could help you win some games. And I don't know if that type of inconsistency, if that was due to him not wanting this system, liking this system, not being in the system that he thought he was going to be in, or if the coaches were like, I don't know if I can trust him, so we may not pay him as much. You know, that I think that's what people are going to overlook. If a player, let's use round numbers. A player is getting $1 million at A&M, and they don't want him anymore. Well, then you offer him $500,000, and you hope somebody offers him $1.5 million, and then he's like, well, I have to go. Instead of in the old days where you quote unquote didn't pay players and you
Cut
just
the scholarship.
and you just say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna help you find a school because you don't have a scholarship here next year." That's the equivalent of hey, you don't have a scholarship next year is sorry, we're only gonna pay you $250,000. And you think that's a slap in the face because you were getting paid $1 million, but in reality, it's we don't want you. If you want to stay, we like you for 250, but we don't like you for $1 million. So if you want to stay, you're at 250, and we can use that 750 somewhere else on another player that we really like.
I just look at Pop, and there's no denying he had talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they would not have made the tournament without him.
Without
what
question.
He did in the last month, there's no way they would have survived it without him.
No, I agree. I think he is. I think he's a tremendous talent. I think he was very inconsistent, and
yes,
and sometimes it just looked like he wasn't happy, and it's hard. I mean, when you're playing the sport you love and you don't look happy, it's hard to keep going. And so I don't know what that was. There were a lot of times where I was like, man, he's got it. It's clicking. He looks good with this team. This team meshes with his skill set. He's rolling. And then 2 games later, it was, where is he?
I would say comfortably he was not the prototypical Bucky guard.
Probably. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. But again, that's not to say that he's not a good player because he's a fantastic player. I really like him.
Very much so.
I mean, Sampson at Houston, he was going to Houston before A&M snagged him.
What did you think of Ruben Dominguez? I mean, we already talked about him. God, that's not no news, but Xavier.
Man, I don't know what Xavier's doing, but they found a donor with some money because they pulled in four top guys now, and when I say they pulled them in, it was
bam, bam, bam.
There was no fight. It just here's a bag of money for you, and we want you, so don't go anywhere else. And took them all, which is hey, that's the world these days.
They identified and
that's
signed.
College athletics. Here it is. This is what we want. Here's the offer, and we know it's a high offer, but we want you, so here it is.
Well, there's some schools, Texas Tech, that just identify and pay. They don't want to negotiate. They just identify and pay. They pay the Lubbock tax plus.
Yep.
And
that's a high tax.
If you got the money, that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Cody Campbell and his investment group, they're going to get tired of just doing that. They are. And he's been vocal about it. That's not new news. He's been vocal about it. This is unsustainable. The amount of money that we are giving away, because that's all it is giving it away. You are not, there is no ROI on this except for maybe pride and you get to walk around campus and people know who you are because you're the big man on campus. But other than that, you're losing money. And it's unsustainable. And he has said that, and Lubbock better win some championships if they
But you know what?
They expect anything else.
They weren't going to go anywhere else without him. So it doesn't matter if you're Lubbock. If you're Texas Tech, good for Cody Campbell.
Absolutely.
He can say whatever he wants, and when he's done, fine. But enjoy the ride.
Absolutely.
If he's good for 10 years and you get this 1 decade of best softball team they've ever had, best football team in the modern era, okay.
Absolutely.
And hopefully what will happen is when he's done, they'll still be better off than before him. It won't be the same after he's gone, but they're better off.
Agreed.
They'll have better facilities. Other people will donate more than they did before, but it still won't be Cody Campbell levels, but they'll be better off.
I was talking with a guy last night about where do you draw the line of how much do we donate to NIL versus how much do you donate to programs and facilities these days? Because you still need great facilities because you're bringing in these top-notch guys, but you need to spend the money on those top-notch guys. And where's the balance? And it seems that no one has figured it out yet because everybody has been so focused on NIL. Thankfully, A&M put money into facilities before NIL started.
Mm-hmm. So they have the facilities already.
But, I mean, even when we looked at Oregon 2 years after Kyle Field was built, Oregon was trying to top everything.
They happen to have a blank check for life, so and they have for a long time now.
Yeah.
Logan, I'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Yeah, Lou, I'll be here.
You good?
Yep.
Be awesome, brother.
See ya.
When we come back, we got to wrap up the first hour of the Louie Bellina Show. presented by CC Electric. This is the Louie Bellina. You know that already on the Zone.
Visit zone1150.com and you can sign up for the Zone newsletter. Check out the Zone prize rules and download podcasts of your favorite shows on the Zone. Never miss out.
The Louie Bellina Show. Our first hour is done. Still to come, 12 o'clock, Joe Sheehan Newsletter. Joins us on the D4 Land Services hotline. If you need your land cleared, excavated, just help fixing it up, well, it's in the title, D4Landservices.com, D4Landservices.com. 1 o'clock, Olin Buchanan joins me in the Charles Schwab studio. The entire Maroon and White universe and more. And then at 1:50, it is the Community Spotlight with Aggie Land Humane Society. A reminder, text messaging, your phone. You could text me or any guest of the Louie Bellina Show at 979-693-1150. That's Monday through Friday. Any day, any guest, anytime. Questions, comments, opinions. Aggie baseball, how awesome is it? Aggie football, number 10, updated. Way too early, top 25. Too high, too low, just right. Houston Astros, have you ever seen anything like this in your life? And I know you haven't, so don't lie to me, please. 979-693-1150. Light up the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. Questions, comments, or opinions. I'll be back with Joe Sheehan. That's what's next on the Louie Bellina Show.
This is your home for Aggie football, basketball, and baseball. It's the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Listen on the Zone app or online at radioaggieland.com or tell Alexa, play Zone 1150.
Play Zone 1150.
Listen live on your phone, smart speaker, computer, or the Zone app. Powered by Loyalty Plumbing, where craftsmanship and loyalty is their business. Visit loyaltyplumbingllc.net. Take the Zone and your favorite teams and shows with you wherever you go.